Okay, so we're here with Kayla and her band. Everybody introduce themselves.
I'm Chris.
Chris.
Vocalist.
I'm Matt.
There's Matt.
Renee.
There's Renee back there. There's Kayla right here. We're going to jam some Pantera, and then we're going to talk some shit about their band and all that good shit. So here we are in their jam room, and I'm going to play this lovely bass I got from ESP, and we're going to play some songs like we think we know what we're doing. So hang tight. We're sitting here with Kayla and her band, and we just finished some jams, and boy, we have a good time doing that. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Man, you don't get to play Pantera with too many people, that's for sure. You know.
Except your whole crew.
Except, well, my crew, you know. Got a little crew from hell that gets to do it. But, man, let's talk about Kayla real quick. Kayla, how long have you been playing this guitar? Not this one, but just guitar.
About 14 years now.
About 14 years. Yeah. And how old are you now?
I'm 28.
See, just couldn't even tell. It's amazing the chops that you have. You show them off on your show. And how long have you been doing that show?
The YouTube channel is like 2020. I posted like my first like walk solo.
Yeah.
In 2020, and I posted it like to Reddit or something, and it blew up. And I just I was like, okay, that was cool.
Right.
And then I didn't get real serious with it until like 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
But boy, you jumped right in.
Yeah.
You do it so well. You're so well studied on all that.
Thanks.
It just come natural? It sounds like it just comes natural.
No.
No.
Honestly, like I waited for, like I said, I've been playing for 14 years, and I've basically been doing the channel for 3.
Okay.
So yeah, I waited until I was pretty
okay.
chopped up before.
All right. Before you hit the camera on.
Mm-hmm.
And you love these Kramers.
I do.
Yeah, the J8000.
The JK8000.
Tell us about this guitar
Yeah.
and why you gravitated towards it so much.
I don't know why, but I always loved the star body and like the reverse headstock shape.
Yeah, totally.
And something about it, especially when I saw the Hamer Dimebag prototype.
Sure.
I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't know if I have.
It's basically like one of his MLs,
Yeah.
but it has a reverse kind of hockey stick headstock.
Yeah,
Not quite pointy, but hockey stick.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really cool looking.
Man.
And ever since I saw that, I was like, oh man, like if I had one of those or a star body, I've always thought like the ML and the star body are like kind of in the similar vein, you know? Like if I had either one of those, I would have been set. And I was just like, I was actually browsing eBay looking for a Kramer that my dad used to own.
Okay.
And so this is kind of like a selfless venture because I was like, I'd love to like buy him that guitar or something someday. He owned like an old 1986 Kramer Pacer Imperial.
Pacer.
Like
Yeah. Nice.
And every so often I just like search eBay for it. And I came across this guitar on eBay. And I was like, I've never seen a Kramer like that.
Right.
Much less any other guitar. And
yeah.
You can't find star body guitars with a reverse pointy headstock.
No, I guess not, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, even nowadays with all the crazy stars and blades and shapes and all that, and all the crazy places that the ML and Explorer and the ML inspired, you know, with a V bottom or not. Yeah. You know, it's a bit of a V, it's a bit of an Explorer, it's a bit of an ML. Yeah. That's why you take to it so well. It's just got it all there.
Right.
It looks so cool.
And I love like the seating position, like for playing in the classical style, it literally like just sits. It just does.
And in your videos, you see you're just comfortable. You're not even adjusting a strap. It's just so comfortable there for you. That's awesome. Well, you got to see her videos. You got to see her channel. It's amazing what she does. I don't know if there's a song she can't play by all these great guitar players. Hell, I saw Ice Cream Man last week. I was like, damn. What a great song to bring out. What a great solo to show people. What inspires you to just to do the solos, other than just they're great solos and you love them so much?
Like all the Dime solos was just me, and like I'm infatuated with his playing. Like first and foremost, I never really, I played like some Dean guitars and stuff back in the day, and I just never fell in love with his gear so much as his playing. Like his playing is just everything to me. The blues inspiration, like all of that. And Randy Rhoads is like a big, I've noticed like as I've been like learning his solos and stuff, like I think he gives Ace Frehley and Eddie Van Halen like the most credit for his playing. Yeah. But I'm like, Randy Rhoads, all of the patterns, everything that he does is so Randy Rhoads. Yeah. And especially now that I'm like diving into Randy's territory, I'm like, this is exactly like how Dime would write his songs.
Yeah, isn't it?
So.
I think it's great. I think it's great that you, in your world, have decided to latch onto those kinds of players, because I'm an old timer, and that's what we used to try to do, you know. Right. But I love to see it stay alive, and it's players like you that keep it alive. It's players like you that keep showing that it can be done and inspiring other players to do it, even at this 2025.
Well, thanks.
I mean, geez, it was like the late 70s they were doing that, you know?
That's thanks to my dad. He was the one who turned me on to all the old heavy metal and stuff. Right. I remember the first time I ever heard Pantera, and it was funny because I had heard Cowboys from Hell off of like the very first Guitar Hero or whatever. Okay. And I don't like that, the very first Cowboys from Hell off of like Guitar Hero 1 or whatever it was all covers back then. Right. So they had like a cover band record all these songs. I didn't know that. I think when you would play a song, it would say like, as performed by Pantera. Yes. But like, you know, little me would think like, oh, it's just Pantera. Right. And my dad was like, have you heard Cowboys from Hell? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't really like it. And he puts on This Love. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. And we were like, I still remember like the vibe. We were like coming home from a motorcycle trip. We used to like ride dirt bikes and stuff. Excellent. And it was just like, you know, nighttime in Texas, driving down like an old lonely highway listening to This Love. I'm like, that's the vibe. Well, it comes from the right place. Right. It comes from the right place, and it's so good to see you playing it and love it so much, because you're truly, it's here. You love it, and you can tell when you play it. You know, you're not gritting your teeth and like trying too hard. You just flow,
And I think that's the most beautiful part about your playing, is there's so much flow coming out of you naturally. And I give it up to you for that. I think it's fantastic. And your pops, okay. So we'll blame the old man for this, huh? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I'd love to have a chance to meet him someday.
We need to get him on camera. He doesn't want to be on camera.
Okay.
He's actually going to be here next week.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see what we can do. I'll definitely get him if you want to.
I'll get him if you don't.
All right. All right. We'll sucker him into it somehow. I'd certainly like to thank him for having such a great, inspiring you to be such a great player that you are.
Aww.
You know, absolutely. And you know, your boys are badass. Chris and Renee and Matt. Oh, yeah.
Are you live?
We are live. Oh, Jesus, I keep stepping on the other
Are
camera.
you live streaming?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not doing that. It's not live.
I was going to play floods because of the rain.
Kayla just about fired me because she thought it was live, but it's not. How about that, y'all? Some Pantera jams up on the north side of town, up in here in Round Rock. They have a great spot that they jam in, and it looks great. I'll do another run through of the cool posters and what is those flags or whatever you got hanging
the
up?
tapestries. Yeah.
For the inspiration. I know that from Philip telling us all that you were definitely a player that they wanted to talk to, and I know
Philip
that.
told you that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Philip and Kate, absolutely were talking about that, and I know you had. I saw one of your episodes where you had talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, no. I just wasn't sure who else Phil had told, honestly.
You know, I don't know if he really hit the press with it or whatever, but I mean, we could talk about it because it's real.
Right.
You know, I mean, Zach is the guy to do the gig. We all know that.
Yeah.
You know, Zach is family, and that it's a family thing, and that's where that comes from. So many, I don't want to call them haters because we all love Pantera, and they want to be hearing the exact dime tone and dime riffs and dime chugs and this and that. It's like, you know, it's a celebration, you know, and it's not just about that. It's about what Zach brings to the live show. I mean, it's Zach Wild. He's a badass, and we all love to see him, and he loves to play these songs, and that was his best friend, and you know, but don't be put off because of your playing. It wasn't anything to do with none of that. It was because Zach's family. And I know there's other guys that, you know, Attila, you know, is such a great player. And we hung out in Europe. What's up, Attila? And, you know, Ola. I see you, Ola, if you're watching. Y'all are great players and would certainly fit. Like if something crazy happened and Zach Wild lost his leg, you know, they could call you.
Oh, he'd still play with a lost
He'd still
leg.
play with him, wouldn't he? He'd roll him out.
He'd need to lose his arm.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh, well, we'll forget about that.
No, but it's great that people like Grady are involved in trying to hone down his tone for Pantera and everything, you know?
It is.
Because he needs that driving force to get everything authentic and unique.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I've seen Grady build the rack, the Zach rig a couple times, and this latest time was the best one of all. Mm-hmm. You know, we sat at PRG and he made his towers, and I wasn't able to show too much of that, but I showed what I could. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some secrets in there, and it's a sweet rig. And you're right, Grady is such a big inspiration and maker of the rig and of the sound, and he takes care of Zach. He's doing it right now, or they probably finished, but they're in Nashville tonight, doing the big donut with Metallica. But,
do you like those donut shows?
I don't.
Yeah, I figured.
I can be honest because I'm not doing it anymore. It's tough when you got your rig and your dude is on the other end of a 50-yard line at
hey,
NFL.
Can I get a pic? Can I get a pic?
Oh, God, for all the people behind me.
Can I get a pic?
All that.
It's my son's birthday today. Can I get a
I
drumstick?
know. But I'll always have a handful of pics, and when I'm walking around the ring to do base handoff, if I see a kid, because a lot of people bring their kids, every kid that I see gets one. So.
Yeah.
But it is like that. But
I mean, there's a time for it too.
Yeah.
When you're tuning up a bass, not the time.
Yes, but people don't know that, and I can't blame them for
Fair
not
enough.
knowing, you know.
Fair enough.
But that's a crazy scene. I'd much rather do the gigs at on the
Regular
rectangles.
tour,
Yeah,
sheds
on the
and
big
stuff.
stages.
Yeah.
On the big stages. Yeah, they're out there doing it right now, and we're here playing Pantera songs and taking it quick. But I do want to say that we did fire up the Warhead today, and that footage you see is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, not bad for a one-trick Dimebag. There you go.
Yeah, especially if, I mean, that thing is so lightweight. Like, if you had to take, like, an amp head with you.
Yeah.
And I was honestly very surprised with the amount of volume you get out of it,
Surprised
too.
at it, too. Right.
Yeah.
Is that a 16 ohm cabinet you have in there?
I think it's all three. It's 4, 8, and 16.
4, 8, and 16. All right.
But it'll do 4 mono or 16 mono.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
think Grady mentioned that the 8 ohm was the best sound, but man, that just fired right up. And of course, you got the chops and you made it, you know, just sound like it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. What a cool thing. And what cool guitars you have. The Kramers. What a cool band you have. What a bunch of cool fellas. What a great scene you have. Just much love, Kayla.
Yeah.
Never stop. You're doing badass, and we all love to watch you.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Look out for Kayla Kent's show on
Kayla Kent on YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram.
Instagram too, yeah.
Anything else? Just kind of everything. And
that's pretty much it. YouTube and Instagram, yeah.
All right. You want to see a pure shredder and a real player? Check out her show. And her band's going to be out soon, right? You're going to be doing some shows?
We're working on material right now.
That's right, writing originals and sounding good. It's doing real good.
We'll have a name soon.
Okay, the name's coming soon. But keep a lookout. Kayla Kent, good to meet you.
Good to meet you,
All right,
Bobby.
then. Thank you. That's
Bobby
it.
Rock, everyone.
Bobby Rockingham. We're here checking out this new Warhead that just came in the mail. And we're going to do an unboxing here. I'm going to let Kayla rock this motherfucker. So, it doesn't look very intimidating. But look, it's kind of small, huh?
It's really light, too.
Yeah. The world of solid state.
Not serious.
That's right. Right. Plug this sucker in.
I guess I should grab my guitar that has the Bill Lawrence picture.
Okay, let's do that. Let's get real.
Did you get me over here?
Oh, shit. Yeah, what do you think of it? First plugging into it, what do you think? Pretty dimey?
Yeah.
It's not there to make a bunch of different sounds. It's a dime tone.
It sounds fucking
Well, what are your first thoughts on it now that you've plugged into it?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's more authentic to the dime sound than like my Johnson.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, that's Grady designed, and Grady got into the making of it and went to the factory and made sure that it was right. We were on tour, and he went to check it out, and they thought they were done, and Grady goes, nah, you don't quite have it yet. And then they went back, not to the drawing board, but they got back in it and you told them how to carve out the right sound.
Did they model it after a specific amp?
Well, yeah, I think after the Grady, whatever Grady decided to model it after. So Grady's ears are really the thing. I imagine the Randall. You know,
it's like the RG100H or whatever.
Maybe. Grady would have those answers. And I'm going to hit you up, Grady. We're going to find out all these answers. But I think for a first test run, that was pretty badass. The driver ain't bad either, so you rocking that thing. That's some Warhead tones from a damn good dime player right there. Right on, Kayla. Awesome. Well, thank you. That's it. There's the dime head. There's the Warhead. And here we go. That was it. That's our unboxing jam. All right, then. There you have it. Proper dime tone with proper dime top player. Nicely done, Kayla. Badass. All right then. Well, that's it for the Warhead. Let's do that. Done.